obviously that desire of not wanting to fail anymore. I didn't, you know, didn't really like what happened last year as far as me and the way I pitched, and it's solely on me. It's not anybody else. It's not on the revolving door of pitching coaches. That's not on our manager. That's not on anybody but myself. And with that being said, I still have to look at the positives that were there last year and focus on those and not worry about the negatives. And if I keep worrying about negatives, that's just going to bring that attitude back to this year, and it's going to do no good for me. So, I'm really trying to focus on those positives and build off of those and get back to being me. And, like you said, yeah, there's a little bit of chip there. I want to prove that last year was a fluke, and it's not going to happen again.
Is there a big part of you, Jon, that wants to be a leader of this pitching staff too, coming in, especially start of spring training? How much does that mean to you?
For me, I don't worry about leaders and all that. I try to do my job the best I can. I try to, especially with some of these young guys that are out here, try to set a good example on the field as far as, doing the PFPs right, taking the bullpen serious, and doing the little things that I feel that we should, as veterans, that we should do. The leader stuff, I think, takes care of itself. People kind of name you that. You don't name yourself that. So, like I said, I try to. It sounds cliche, it sounds stupid, but I just really try to focus on doing that every day, the best I can. And if somebody, if one of my peers considers me a leader, then that's awesome. But like I said, I'm just trying to right now get the ship right and start pitching well.
Jon, you reported the other day saying that you get the feeling that some guys were a little pissed off about last year and that there was a little edge to some guys. How does that manifest itself? What have you seen or maybe heard from guys talking about, making up for last year and getting it right?
I don't think it's a matter of talking about last year. I think it's a matter of you can just see it in some guys. Especially, obviously David, I've been with him since I've been here. He's one of the last guys, and I've played since 2004 with Petey and Els and all those guys. So we've never, minor leagues and big leagues, never had a season like that. We've never got our ass kicked that bad. And it's frustrating and it's humbling. And I think it can also be a positive in the end. I think it gets you, because nobody wants to be that team. Nobody wants to do what we did last year. And I think it gets guys back to the right mindset. Hey, look, we need to play with chips on our shoulder. We need to not back down when people are trying to step on us. We need to do the little things right, and we need to focus on that. And I think you can kind of see that just from the first 2 days here with the pitchers and catchers. A lot of the little things are getting done right with good intensity and good tempo. And I don't think anybody wants to be in our position that we were last year, and we want to be on top.
You seem like you